Okay, well, we will move on now to Alyssa Siregar from Sociology, who will present why they stopped, what former human traffickers in Indonesia taught me about change.
When you imagine someone stop committing crime, what do you picture first? An arrest? A prison sentence? Fear of getting caught? For the former human traffickers I interviewed in Indonesia, none of those things mattered. What made them stop was because of getting married and becoming parents. Most research on human trafficking focuses on the victims, and rightfully so. But it also means that very little is still known about the people carrying out the trafficking, and especially what causes them to quit. So I reached out to people in a region in Indonesia that has long been known for its human trafficking issue, a place that I visited back and forth for the past 3 years with my trusted ones in order to look into the matter firsthand. Here are the pictures. And then I interviewed 10 former local human traffickers. These are the men and women who had stopped trafficking completely for at least 5 years. My interviewees had trafficked women and underage girls from families living in severe poverty, sometimes with the consent of the parents. And to some extent, they knew that what they were doing was wrong, but financial desperation and social pressure pulled them in anyway. And the fact that the parents knew about and even sometimes encouraged trafficking helped my interviewees feel like what they were doing was okay. The family's participation helped my interviewees feel that what they were doing was normalized and justified. So the question is, what made them stop? The most striking patterns was because of getting married and becoming parents. Once they got married, they told me that they could no longer continue because they did not want their wives and in-laws to find out. So the shame of being known as a trafficker within their family became unbearable. And then, once they became parents, something internally shifted even more deeply. Many told me, and this is clearly without prompting, that they could no longer continue because they began imagining their own child in the position of the girls they had exploited. That recognition made the harm that they once had accepted became morally intolerable, not just risky, not just illegal, but wrong in a way that they could not unknow. So family plays an important role in this story. On one hand, familial consent can help normalize trafficking, making it feel like an understandable survival strategy. On the other hand, family becomes the very force that breaks it. So I hope that my research helped us to rethink on how we want to approach human trafficking prevention and mitigation. All of us, including the governments, might want to invest programs more in that can help strengthen and build family. Programs that make family not feel the desperation that leads them to consider human trafficking as a survival strategy, and programs that help people form sorts of bonds that make human trafficking feel morally impossible. Because at the end of the day, what changed my interviewees was not merely a system, but because of feeling seen and feeling responsible for someone they loved. Thank you very much.